Three former South Sudanese refugees who fled their countries to the United States, Uganda, and Australia are doing well in their careers in their second home. Bishop Anthony Pogo, the current advisor to the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, was a refugee in Uganda at the age of 1. Pogo was elevated last week to the position of Secretary General of the Anglican Communion. In an exclusive interview, Pogo says refugees should remain hopeful and work hard.
Again, hard work is an important aspect, but also having hope. And it's important that you have hope. Whatever you do, remember that there is a better tomorrow.
The Anglican Communion Secretary General designate took a direct aim at leaders in Africa, including those in his country, to work for peace. He says the vicious cycle of violence in South Sudan and the DRC has displaced millions of people who are seeking refuge in Uganda and other parts of Africa.
As a former refugee, I would like to give you this opportunity to speak directly on the camera to people who are in refugee camps today, who could be watching this interview. What would you tell them?
Do what you can to help our people to go back to their countries of origin so that where there are conflicts, work for peace, work for reconciliation, work to prevent conflicts, not only intertribal conflict, but conflict between countries, conflict between different groups of people. Because part of what's contributing to all these conflicts is disagreement.
Another South Sudanese Australian featured in a new science fiction movie titled Spearhead, released last week and is now on the streaming giant Netflix, was once a refugee in Kenya at the age of 6 months. Stephen Petia Tongun says his parents and siblings were given an Australian humanitarian resettlement visa in 2000.
Looking at your journey from South Sudan to Kenya and Australia, give us a little bit of synopsis of how you made it in Australia.
Look, for me, I've always been juggling these two things. Education was very important for not only my family, but for me as well in terms of creating the opportunities that I have now. I think if it wasn't for the fact that I had very driven parents that, insisted on us getting an education and really focusing on our success in terms of, having an occupation and focusing on something that we could also give back to our community.
Tangon, who is also a lawyer and actor, says the plight of refugees around the world requires urgent action to help people escaping conflicts in their countries of origin. He says refugees should remain hopeful and grab every opportunity that comes their way.
What I would like to say is really being a refugee, it doesn't end just because you've been given the humanitarian visa or whatever it is. In fact, the journey really just begins. There's a lot of issues that you have to face. Firstly, you're settling in an environment where you might not know anyone. And I really want to thank those people that take the time to also help refugees when they actually arrive in different countries.
Pogo and Tongun all attributed their successes to their parents who gave them the opportunity to study and become career professionals.